seconds. 5 seconds. Seconds remain. Dyer's turn.
I gotta. This is the mute button. Doesn't work. That's really good to know. That is very good.
Does it not work? Hello?
Abacat, what's it? Last game. I think the Elder Titan is a big problem that they should give more respect to.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing we have to see here is we've now seen ET go into the offlane, but BRAME can play in support. The Beastmaster, we've seen plenty of clips where this mid beast goes Ags, gets a free Roshan, but also Skylark loves playing Beastmaster. So it'll be interesting what BRAME's take is on.
I think you swap it up.
supporting you.
All right. Well, the Death Prop gyro bans, I think, make a lot of sense. That's kind of what made the ET work. It's these mixed damage, heavy team fighters. You know, when Gyro bought a BKB bottom, got ganked, basically popped it, and then ignored all enemies. You can't allow that, and there's no real counterplay to it, because if you extend the game, it's never like the game. It doesn't get any easier for you because ET is so powerful in the late game.
What stops BRAME right now if Tundra don't ban Husker? Just
From
picking
running it back.
casual support into then last pick in the second phase, another Husker type hero.
I'm down.
Because like when you see ET Beastmaster, these are heroes that really kind of prop up any of the kind of the cheesier heroes, right?
They're in the star formation. They're very much the front line.
Yes,
but
we
they
will
also
be
provide a ton of amplification.
We will be doing some graphics for this, but people who don't understand, haven't been watching me and Carl on panel before. We do have a formation system for certain lineups where you have front line, you have backline
Who's
damage.
making the graphics?
We will again. It's in the pipes. It's in the works.
Okay, this is a you
Who will
thing
make
that I'll
it?
take credit for.
Okay, sure. Okay, I'll be doing it so we can put it on stream, and me and Carl can then talk to you about the formations. As much as I'm kind of half memeing here, it's actually a really good thing.
I think it's something that you don't really. It's hard to explain. You're right, but I know that when you think of drafts from a player perspective, and when people actually look at how to take fights, it's something that teams are discussing. Who is going to be face checking the enemy if desired? There's scenarios where it's like, well, if we don't get this guy, we can't take the fight.
Oracle is the most important or most obvious example. Someone's got to jump the Oracle to make sure that the fight can actually happen.
Exactly.
Who does it? Who goes there? Who helps the damage?
And then
et
the solo strategy we've seen many times that a lot of other teams have adopted is
No matter the hero, he's the one going in.
the 5 positions like can suddenly be that frontliner because he has the buyback being held. And when the fight is important enough, I think it's a very viable strategy. But buybacks are also so cheap. It's really just a respawn cooldown.
So for Tundra right now, my big fear is simply their presence on the map. They have even more now. They have a lot of heroes that exist, but it's the Abaddon carry or some mid-tide situation right now.
Yeah, can you you can't Huskar into Wyvern though, can you?
Why?
I always remember there being a super high win rate for Wyvern against Huskar because of the percent damage on Q. You can't arm toggle, and the Wyvern ulti kind of just.
The caveat to that is Wyvern ult now is 2.5 seconds if no other hero is within the ultimate. So the whole idea of Wyvern being able to do solo damage is now gone.
What if Wyvern just straight up dies to the Skywrath?
That's true. That's a very good point.
That is also very possible. And also, with the Skywrath Mage, your ice... Your E, whatever the E is called.
Cold Embrace.
Cold Embrace is going to be useless because you're going to just get a flare in your head. You're dead.
I want to see that.
Oh, PL.
Was nerfed a bit, but very solid. Another hero that loves playing with heroes like Beastmaster ET, protects the Skywrath.
I feel like BRAME is such an aggressive team. We've highlighted that now, plenty of times. Tundra, they've gone for like the most passive lineup around, where they'll just sit in their lanes and like they kind of emulating in game 1 as well, where they'll happily react to a play, but when they make plays, they're so weak in open.
This is the TI, was it 7 EG, where they just were picking these incredibly passive, slow drafts, and they just lost.
But they were playing a TI.
And what is that? A shot, Sheaves?
No, but that's something good. So with that strategy, you might be able to make it to TI.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if you play Wyvern Tide, you're just really reliant on these big ultimates. But as you said, it's very slow. All these heroes, they just kind of walk at you.
But yeah, this does kind of align with the meta of how the mid lane does focus. I keep saying this. The idea that mid lane, you don't really need to put anything else there. You just put a greedy hero, farms up a lot of the map, and that's it. You don't have to make plays into mid because you can just focus on side lanes, river runes. It's so easy. Everyone just buys bottom when it exists. There is punishment for that, but Tundra, they're going to be happy in their side lanes. It reminds me of the first game of Team Bald, where they had like Necro Brewmaster off lane.
Ooh, is that a good thing?
No, Necro Void Spirit, of course not. But it's the double off lane with active mid.
Yeah. They need an active mid. We'll see. Because last game, BRAME obviously was the team that made the most moves. So maybe this works for them because Tundra, all they need is to just sit back and wait for BRAME to run at them. But at the same time, I think the PL pick, for that reason, you don't want to sit back, but they kind of have to still.
I want to see Abaddon carry. Abaddon carry right now.
I mean, you kind of have to. It's going to be a core. Otherwise, who is going to be your core? It's going to be...
They could easily make this funky, but I want to see in the 1 position, Abaddon go for Radiant.
Yeah.
And he can just get the ball rolling in front line, he happily will tank a Raw, happily tank some Sky spells, and he doesn't care about ET, right? Because he's always gonna have that second life for his ultimate.
But don't you just at a point lose to Phantom Lancer? Like, that's the big concern I have.
Even with the nerf, you still.
Yeah.
Phantom Lancer is going to be the strongest hero in the from the 10 in the game.
After like third or fourth item, I'd say yeah. I just don't think you can clear illusions fast.
It depends though,
and the supports are just kind of fodder.
They still have last pick though for Tundra, right? So if BRAME reveal everything with this final pick, and then suddenly Tundra gets to pick a strong mid, and they have this early timing of Abaddon with some Radiance type situation, I could see them outpacing PL. PLs, even in the OG series where they win, they had a 20-minute window where they were very weak.
But
right?
it's Beastmaster, like ET. These heroes aren't exactly ones you are looking to push into, and you're still gonna be able
just trying to find some things for them, Kyle. I like BRAME's draft a lot.
I love the bans. That's the thing, is to your point, I think Tundra's last pick that brings the draft together is something that has low cooldown disable and can deal with PL illusions late
4
in the
seconds,
game.
Kyle.
Emberlesh are ideal at that, and they're both gone.
Chen.
Dang.
Was not expecting that.
Crikey.
That
is that now just a
mid-sky, maybe?
Yeah.
It's a pretty sick game for
it could be mid Beastmaster. It's been very popular.
Oh yeah, so like Chen 5, mid beast, offlane ET, Sky 4. Yeah. That checks out.
I think that's more like, I think Skylark is gonna play the ET again. Yeah, Sven coming.
That's perfect. It was buffed in the last patch, and in addition, it is quite nice to deal with the PL and the Chen.
Mid Rubik.
Mid Rubik. Wow, you're right.
If you get Beastmaster, we steal your spell and we can roleplay Beastmaster.
Yeah, might as well.
And now they have Sven to deal with PO, so they have a way to actually get through the game on that front.
That Rubik's base?
What are you on about, Chief?
Nothing, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea that BRAME have doubled down on what BRAME do well, which is laning pressure and early entry into the game. Sven is a hero that takes a little bit more time to find farm, and PL mirrors that as well. So I think,
Top lane's going to be a disaster. ET Skywrath, they're just going to blast Skeeter off the map. I like the lineup for Tundra, but the Sven needs to have a good game, like a very good game. He is effectively all of their damage.
Don't you think that ET Skywrath is going to be on the off lane though?
Yeah.
Bot lane. Thank you.
What?
You said top lane.
I said off lane.
You said top lane.
Ooh.
Watch the
on my panel. Which lane is the off lane? Dire or Radiant, Kyle?
She's
I'm just trying to be a
Sorry,
it's not my choice.
It's because I had to feel, because you guys can't put on your microphone.
Sorry, again, I'm just trying to
Please, who's going to take this game?
I don't know. No, I think BRAME. I like how BRAME played game 1. They're very aggressive, and if they can shut out the Sven in laning phase, PL should have a decent time with item advantage.
Yeah, I think it's just a much easier game for them to play. To your point, it's BRAME's wheelhouse, and yeah, I just don't know how Skeeter gets a game. You can't try lane with like a bad
jungle. The jungle's pretty broken, unfortunately. Still didn't really get touched too much, so Sven's gonna hit the jungle a lot.
So it's a lot on Sven not losing the lane too hard, and if he does, he'll have to catch up in the jungle.
Not lose the jungle.
He needs to be. I want him to have a Mask of Madness before he rotates out of lane. I don't think that'll be the case because he's gonna get spanked.
So he needs his mom for support in this game.
Yes, everybody needs a mom, and also call your mom. Don't forget. Grandparents too.
Yeah, any caretaker. It's always good to show your appreciation. I'm going to show my appreciation. I'm very appreciative of Moxie and Purge saving me from this panel.
Don't worry, Sheever, we'll save you. Oh my goodness, it's nice to work with the proper analyst over here, Purge. But you really like Nine, right? Nine's an excellent player. He did a great job in the last game trying to prolong it. Is his Rubik going to be strong enough, though, to make the space necessary so that way Skeeter can, get the items that he needs to survive here?
I am certainly on paper as being a Rubik mid-hater. I don't think it's like extremely bad, but I think it's bad or weak. But if they have something in mind, like Tigo pointed out, if he can get Ags and steal the Wild Axes from Beastmaster, that would be excellent. Because not only does Rubik have more cast range from Arcane Spells, he also has more spell amp. So like it's genuinely like if it's broken on Beastmaster, it's broken with 26% more damage than it did there. So yeah, that could be insane, absolutely. But past that, it has issues, especially against a PL. He cannot well defend himself against a swarm of illusions that run him down, and that is where Rubik core has problems. So I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm very curious to see how what Tundra does to try to deal with the PL problem.
think it's going to be very scary as well. They had mentioned the fact that the dynamic duo of course, an Elder Titan and a Skywrath Mage is going to make a lot of problems, and their lane popped off last time.
It did. It was really strong. Maybe it won't be quite the same. They'll have Warcry at least to amplify their armor a huge amount in these moments where they do trade, but... What's up?
Is any okay? I was waiting for someone to pick up the rune. They all just Delta split and we're leaving it there for a moment.
They got 3 bounty runes. Against Abaddon, you can mitigate some damage with Aphotic Shield. And against Warcry, once they get level 2 and onward for Sven, they should be able to do semi-okay against Elder Titan. And the other important thing is that they have a stun now. Last match, it was a Snapfire and a Slark. They can't stop him from hitting them, but now they can do a Stormhammer and just walk away.
That is the hope, at the very, very least, coming out here. But will be an annoying lane for them to play against either way. And how do you anticipate this mid matchup going?
It's probably going to be fine for Rubik. If Axis did physical damage, I'd be more worried for him, but 9 right off the bat is going to do fine. He's got pretty solid damage talents right now. Fade Bolt, Bullet Throws, hero damage can be very effective against opponents eventually when they get there, but laning-wise, he's going to be fine, basically. Beastmaster's not really going to pressure him. If he gets a lot of 4 levels, then it's scarier, but if he's just doing like Axe stuff, then Rubik can be absolutely okay.
Good to know. And already in the bottom lane, they're throwing out some of that harass. You can see Fata's already tried to mitigate some of this, but very annoying lane to play against either way. And we saw Skylark had a great game last time. Spartan is trying to put out the harass, of course, in the top lane. There's not much that he's going to be able to do really against 33, but perhaps they can make some plays on Snake King.
This is one way that they can actually mitigate the PL a little bit, because Anger Smash is just such a good harassment tool. As is Splinter Blast. He dodges the first one though with Doppelganger, but 33 is gonna not have to worry too much about damage here for quite a while, and now they can even do an RPG with these guys.
And Spartan has to be very careful here. He doesn't have a pathway through. He's gonna try to make his own though, cuts it through using that Tango, but definitely has to be careful about his positioning.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he performs here with Chen. He does end up getting some divine favor. Chen has been adjusted a little bit in how some of his skills work, but you know, heal amplification seems to be pretty good right now. Maybe that's more like block it, fully lock it talking. That's been popular a little bit, but lots of fighting.
Fairy Fire. He's trying to get out at the last second of 33. Drawing the first blood on Spartan.
Did a Tango block there, which or an Ironwood Tree block, which almost helped out, but it's like for now, Spartan's just gonna be microing this insane heal, 15 every half second. Watch out.
Bottom lane, you just keep seeing that Aphotic Shield getting placed there on Skeeter. A little bit of a dive here coming out from 9. Just poking away over here at Wish. 3-minute runes are coming up, so he's going to be able to toss him back and go secure himself a nice, juicy rune here, plus the body blocks. 9 might have got a little bit too cheeky here, though. They've got enough damage, so he ends up dying for the bounty rune. I'm not quite sure that was worth it.
I don't really see supports rotate for the bounty rune on their side of the map very often, but if that worked, it would have been a good play. I mean, it's a big gold swing if you can get out of it, but a good attempt with the TP. But now that he died, teleport, now he's got to walk back the lane. Doesn't have to sit. That was pretty.
Ooh, that's definitely not worth it, actually. Forgot about the Walk of Shame.
The Walk of Shame is always a big problem. Tidehunter, one of the best offlane heroes for dealing with this like stack small cat. He really doesn't care. He's like, thanks for the farm, suckers, and he just gets over here and clears it. So as long as he updates himself here, it's gonna. Warren's doing a great job last inning, but
you see the way that he's trying so hard with his little creep too.
He knew he wasn't gonna be able to last hit that, so he's like, let's just get the shit over with. He hits it once and walks away. Like, I got stuff to do.
To teleporting right back here to this bottom lane to provide the support to Skeeter.
Gone for Great Cleave or Warcry just yet, so not as worried about dying to Alphatine. Keep in mind how it went last game. Skylark obviously had lots of kills, which was very strong and good for him, but afterwards, Skylark did not farm that many creeps, so they just don't let him go out of control on the laning stage, and they play the game kind of slow like they did last game. They should eventually make Elder Titan feel less strong.
How shall the battle turn?
One other thing that's kind of interesting as well is that Sven just got a new talent at 15 plus 25% Great Cleave damage. This is the game for that because he's so we'll see if that ends up being helpful. I assume he will.
feel like you've got to when you've got this many illusions. I mean, you've got a little bit of illusion clear, right? You've got the Fade Bolt, you've got the Splinter Blast, but oh, they're really chasing after things. It looks like they'll turn back around though, and focus up Snake King just a little bit. Not quite enough damage though to take either one of them down just yet.
And they want Orb of Corrosion as well in Tide just to get as much minus armor as possible when they pass it.
He's struggling a little bit with that. Gosh, look at the anchor smasher. This is not looking good for Focus. I think he's going one more hit. Can they get there? Is it going to be able to get that in time? No. Focus will survive with 60-something hit points. Perhaps they can turn this around over here on Snake King. Not much mana left. They've got the Ghost. Brave trying to put out some harass.
This is cool how 3-3 is pivoting his build. He's got 2 points in Kraken Shell. We basically don't see this anymore because it's just not that good to max out. Usually it's better to go Anchor Smash, but against all these Chen creeps and against a PL, damage block is amazing at limiting the amount of damage that they are dealing to you. So kind of cool to see the pivot. It's going to allow him to sit in this lane and basically just not be pressured here.
Manfata is just doing the job of a support 100%, keeping Skeeter alive, making sure that he can heal him up constantly. It's rough, but if you notice over in the mid lane, looks like Wish has had to walk all the way back home. Nine will be able to secure himself that Invis rune. Does have those axes as expected.
It's kind of crazy how well these synergize.
Snake King turning back around. They're hoping to play over onto Skylark. He's just chasing down Skeeter though. He's got these big old punches. They need just maybe one more hit, but they're kiting so well. Stomp coming through. Not going to be able to land on anyone. As Skeeter's still alive, that Aphotic Shield keeping him nice and healthy along with the Mist Coil. Skylark trying to do what he can. He's trying to stay alive. And he is tanky, but with this many people here, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. He's making so much space. They're chasing him for such a long time, and they're just not going to be able to catch him. He's too fast. Look at him go.
The person with boots is the Wyvern, so very difficult to let him down. But on the bright side, nobody died. Skeeter is very close to his massive damage, the item that Kyle did not expect him to get. He's almost got a baby 200 gold to go. And then the most important thing is that by getting this so quickly, it's going to allow him to go farm somewhere where Elder Titan is not, and therefore the whole advantage of Elder Titan that he wins the lane is more nullified because you just pick a hero that can jungle and set up lane. Something Slark couldn't do very well last game.
That
in
is
comparison to someone like Sven.
So does this still, you know, obviously it's great if you can get some sort of an advantage early on, if you can get some kills on the Elder Titan. Is it still going to work out for them though for like that early timing that they're aiming for?
I mean, the timing's going to be delayed because he's not getting these free kills. And Sven has equal, slightly more last hits than Elder Titan does. So if we compare it to last game, it's going to be very different in terms of aim impact. Because what basically happens is when Carry leaves the lane like this, you need somebody to go follow him, to go limit his acceleration in the jungle, or to pressure him if he does end up getting low. But now that he's picked up Possessed Mask and he has Mask of Madness, like, he's just going to jungle for a long time now. And who's going to rotate on him? It's not going to be Skywrath. Skywrath can't kill him solo until he gets, like, a couple more levels. So this is looking great for Tundra right now with Sven having
Nine gets silenced the roar. Let's hold him into place as Focus will be able to collect himself that kill. So down goes the Rubik.
There's one weakness as a hero. If you are the guy that gets gone on, you are not going to survive as much as more typical mid heroes. So he is queuing up Exo, so that's going to be the plan. It's all about wild axes for him in this game, and that is certainly a place where he can seem really incredible compared to a typical normal mid Rubik. So this would be like the one situation that is going to make mid Rubik.
I think he's got to stay alive though and make sure that he can get it with good timing. Otherwise, it is going to be a bit of a challenge.
You're right, but once he gets it, he's going to stand really far back in the team play. Like if we look at the wild axis cast range on Beastmaster, it's already huge.
It is wild,
it's
yes.
Huge. And you're going to add like 250 range on top of that. So yeah, as long as he stays at the back of the fight, it's going to be a great way to deal with PL as well with magic damage. It does not physical, so even though PL has super high armor, he's going to be able to just consistently do a lot of damage. Those PL illusions and whoever else he's harassing. So this can definitely work. I'm pretty hopeful for it.
You're hopeful for it. You are admittedly like saying that you're not a big fan of the Rubik mid here, so that's a pretty big deal.
It can work here though. The axis is definitely really good, and these master levels it early, so boom. Easy solution. If you can steal it.
Boom indeed. Well, some pressure being placed on the bottom tower, but it's like 33, feeling very, very comfortable. There's not a whole heck of a lot that they can do over on the side of BRAME to deal with this Tide Hunter, as Spartan was trying to just, you know, get some experience here, get a little gold, but is forced to teleport away.
Not worth ravaging just for the fun.
But they do find the kill on Fata and that bottom lane. So that's
Very
gonna
versatile for sure.
give a little bit more breathing room here for Skylark as he's able to go hit the creeps and continue to just push in the wave on bottom. I'm surprised that, I guess Wish is still, you know, he's working on that ag, so that's the more important thing, but I'm surprised that you don't see them, you know, trying to force the tower down as well, because you know that that Sven's going to be in the jungle, and he's going to be trying to just farm up.
So this is one of the other areas that Elder Titan suffers because he doesn't have good AoE. Normally what we do when somebody leaves the lane is you cut the creep wave or kill the creep wave really fast. He can't do that. So it's going to take longer for him to naturally kill the tower here.
9 over the top lane, but Stalmanen is going to get ganked by 4 heroes on the side of Tundra, so.
He's blocking the camp, which is kind of good. Sven just got buffed for bonus strength damage, or bonus damage from God Strength, so that's kind of nice. Getting a little kill there. But he's been doing his best to try to slow this down. Before blocking this camp with the sentry, the Skywrath Mage blocked the other medium camp that was in the jungle, the south a little bit. So he's trying to slow down Sven a little bit because he knows he's not going to be able to go on solo. At least he can like decrease some of his spawn speed and force him into the lane where Elder Titan is. But again, LDPT is not going to accelerate that fast. In fact, his build is completely different this game. He's going for a Meteor Hammer instead.
Oh, okay.
One of the items that gives solution to heroes that don't have AoE. You buy it because it's going to allow you to push creep waves and pressure towers more so than you were before. So because he knows he's not going to win lanes here, he needs to worry about affecting it positively, and this is one way to do that.
Getting very close to that Agnum Scepter over on Wish. Just needs one more component. But I'm sure, you know, Nine's going to be looking forward to that as well. He is not quite as far here for the Agnum Scepter, but it is inevitably coming. I'm surprised we're not seeing more stacks coming out for the Sven, because you can see that Wish, you know, he's taking care of his own jungle. He's got a couple of little stacks going on with the Ancients. Yeah, look at that, 5. Okay, so there's some stacks. I missed seeing the Rubik do some of them.
The thing is, he already cleared his whole jungle multiple times, is the different thing. And also, if Fada goes and stacks for him in his lane, then Fada doesn't get levels anymore.
Right.
So Fada's been basically living in this lane, getting all this free experience until he gets punched here by Skylark. But you know, he wants to catch these free levels. If Sven goes to jungle early, this is a great way to spend his. You know, that's why there aren't any.
Looks like they're gonna get their second tower here over on the side of Tundra. So it's 2 towers down now on the side of BRAME. Skylark punching Fata, doing those things that Elder Titan like to do. He has to be careful though because the teleports are coming out. Crispy run his procs, and you can see 33 making his way down bottom, trying to protect this tower, keep it alive. He's already done the damage to the tower in the top lane and the mid.
Got the wrong tree. Otherwise, he maybe would have been able to pressure there. But the fact they got the mid tower for that simple was. With that said, though, there's a gold to his advantage. BRAME has almost 2k up on their opponents, and with Skywrath having 7 here, getting a kill with Beastmaster is really likely, especially because Ancient Seals amplifying magic damage by 30%. That's going to mean these axes are scary.
Snake King does get spotted. It's a nice stomp, though, from the Centaurs. They immediately jump forward. They've got the roar. They want to just blow up 9, and they'll be able to do it, but the Night Hunter's first coming in will be able to take down SSA Spartan. Now Focus chasing after Skeeter. He's got no mana left. He's trying to run. They still have that one Centaur creep, but there's just this army of Catmen just chasing him down, and oh no, Purge. They steal the stack as well.
Wish very happy to see this. Boy, does he clear fast. Holy crap. A great team fight for them. They get the mid player, the Rubik, and they grab Sven. And that was even with the haste rune on Rubik. They kind of played that aggressive and dangerous, though. I think they were feeling confident. Because, like, that Centaur did break smoke. And I think Tundra noticed that. But they still played up, trying to wait for something to break. That way they could haste away with that Centaur stomp. In fact, they let it hit them. It was a pretty big mistake for 9 and limited their ability to fight there.
I mean, they waffled with it a little bit. Like, if you go back and you look, it looks like the Centaur, like, it spots them, and then it feels like it's going to turn around again. So maybe they thought, okay, they weren't prepared to see that many heroes. It was only, you know, 2 heroes possibly, but they weren't expecting the 3rd. I don't know.
Yep, maybe. I think they just were hoping to break smoke and take a fight there, and they're feeling confident about it, but the stomp set up the other disables, and it was just way too much to go with.
You can actually see it. The Centaur just runs right at them. I guess not. Yeah, they used the roar, the blow up 9. That was such a good curse. So, you know, Spartan does go down, but all of a sudden Focus is here, and he's highly focused on Skeeter. He's got absolutely no mana to do anything, so.
Maybe Skeeter could have spawned there, but it kind of looked like he could have escaped, so I don't blame him for trying to run. You know, he wasn't quite ready to fight the PL yet, so. But the Diffusal just dealt with him so easy. That silence, or the slow, sorry, was massive.
You know,
Right, and Skylark goes back to Axe instead. No more Meteor Hammer. Meteor Hammer would have been probably iffy.
Just a second ago, it sounded like you really liked that idea and the adjustment.
Just explaining the concept. You know, buying Meteor Hammer on heroes that don't have AoE is really good. Treant Protector really benefits from it. I've been known to buy Meteor Hammer on heroes that I'm trying to make work as cores.
Purge ruining your pups by buying Meteor Hammer on every single hero. Shake my head, Purge.
Only heroes that don't have AoE, and there's a lot of heroes that have AoE now, okay? Being added to shards and things like that. Decay just got buffed to do double damage to creeps on Undying, so he can be more core-like if he wants to.
That's true.
Etc.
People have said they think Undying is going to be the next offlaner.
I don't know about that. You still need a lot of mana to cast Decay on creep. I get caught here with the smoke.
33.
Doesn't find him.
Immediately focused, just shredding through all of that mana. And you know, they do get the Splinter Blast off, but this is not looking good for 33. And he is very tanky, but Wild Axe is getting thrown out here by Wish. There's a lot of people on the other side of the river. I'm not quite sure about this. Stomp gets thrown out here. Focus, he wants it so bad. There it is, the Mystic Flare coming up with a beautiful stuff. Landing over onto two of them. The Winter's Curse comes out though. Buys him just a little bit more time, but look at Skylark. He wants 9. He's just punching his way to victory over here. Vata's gonna be next to fall. And BRAME is just running at the side of Tundra as he'll turn back around and just focus on the objectives.
Yeah, they're just not ready to play it. Again, this is, again, one of the weaknesses of Rubik. If the enemy team is running you down, you are going to have a really bad time because as a Rubik, you cannot slow this down very fast. Very difficult to stop them from continuing to running you. You need to play the outskirts of the fight like a support can. But first of all, they drain all the mana on Tidehunter with the Diffusal Blade. He's based out of fight. The fact that he doesn't have a Soul Ring, you can maybe criticize here. He got the mana talent, but it basically takes him out of the whole fight. And now because there's no Ravage to impede some of the progress, it's basically Winter's Curse is the only ability, but it's really hard to use against PL. He ends up getting killed with burst damage, great stomp on the backline, lowering their magic resist even farther. And then Skylark gets his first slaps of the game, basically. Kill 9 and prevent him from doing a whole lot. Great skill usage, a great rundown by BRAME here. 5k gold advantage now in the live match. What a great framing. Much better play than camera framing.
You can still see his joy though. That's all that matters. You can see his face too. A lot of the players, you can't even see that. So I mean, I think Fata just turned his camera off for God's sakes.
Mech is ready to go on Shen. No sign of a shard yet, just there. How's he doing? About 1,200 gold away from his Axe, but again, he's 0-4-1 right now. His KDA is not great, and this is a Rubik problem, in my opinion. You can blame his
it's not even your opinion, Kurt. It's just a problem.
Okay, Nether Shawl picked up for the Dire Team. I think he use that later on against overwhelming magic damage, but on the bright side, the one thing going well for Tundra is Sven. His network is high. Not as high as Beastmasters, but still pretty darn up there.
But I feel like 9 right now is just a liability. Like, it doesn't feel as good. Yes, He's been doing a great job. He's farming up. He's, doing the best that he can, considering that there's a lot of pressure on the map. But when you have a mid that doesn't have an impact, it's a lot scarier.
Normally, I would absolutely 1000% agree with you, but I think that the potential abuse of Axe with Rubik Arcane Supremacy is very powerful. So, if they get to a position where Sven and Tide can frontline adequately and continue throwing axes like 6 times in a fight, then things can absolutely change. That's the only, but if not for this potential wild axes cheese stuff that he's trying to do here, I would feel like this game is over.
All right. Well, some pressure being placed over here in the Roche. You've got the 2 Wild Wings throwing out the dual tornadoes, but
it's got Arcane Rune, by the way, so this is just going to be done really quickly. 26 stacks of axes here.
Now they do have to be very aware of the fact that Tidehunter does have a blink now. They have to be careful, but already Wish will grab up that Aegis. Things are looking good, BRAME. They've got their pedal down to the floor. They're going full tilt, and they have no intent of slowing down at all, it seems.
Yep, they do not. And now they've got Sanj Kaya on Beastmaster as well, so even more spell amp coming out for him, which is just gonna meet his damages even higher in these team fights. He's doing a great job. 0-0-7 on Beastmaster, top net worth in the game. It is kind of incredible, and they just nerfed Wild Axes with the Ags too. It does a little bit less damage than it a couple days ago. So
Clearly not
very,
enough.
very good.
Not enough.
Maybe, I mean, he's got some super kills. It's not like he's not just done this without hitting heroes, you know?
Right. Sure. Still seems very, very strong. The same thing with Phantom Lancer. We had a couple little nerfs, but he's still just very good.
Is that a misplay?
Yeah, sounds like it. And he's just flexing on them a little bit. Gonna have the Divine Favor shard though soon, where you can cast it on allies and teleport them back home.
Yeah, that'll be effective against people that get caught out of position, or somebody that's Winter's Cursed. You might be able to save. It's a 6-second delay, so it's pretty high. But definitely has been powerful in the history of Dota 2. Usually it's like somebody gets doomed, you instantly send them back to base, kind of a thing.
Right.
And then they teleport back to the fight with the BOT.
Radiant's
BOT's just yet.
Yet to see a good Ravage here fight, but I'm sure they're waiting for Skeeter to finish up the BKB, and then it's gonna be go time. But you can see the way that BRAME is just constantly, you know, going after objectives, really trying to push around the map. But smoke coming out from the side of Tundra now. It's like they're gonna try to force them out of their jungle if they get a good engagement. Positioning though, they ping it out. Now something is up. This is not feeling super great. They feel a bit split right now. So look at the jump over onto Spartan. That's usually the one that they jump on first, but they're all followed up here from Wish. Plus it's not beautiful, just Winter's Curse over on the back lines, but they don't do any damage to him at all now. As again, the Ravage is gonna come out. Bata trying to run away. Nice Earth Splitter getting tossed in the middle as they do finally take down Spartan, but they're gonna be able to take down 33 and Bata. Focus, running away from the axis here from Knight. Like you said, they do a lot of damage. They'll find the kill on the Phantom Lancer, but Skylark, he's hungry, he's searching, and they'll be able to slow down Nine a little bit. These axes doing quite a bit. Dominant, he wants this kill though, and they'll be able to murder each other, and a bit of a trade.
Nine got 700 gold from that kill. That was a mega streak for the Skywrath Mage. But ultimately, not a good fight for Tundra. I mean, things were about even in terms of experience and gold change, but the fight felt weird to me. I mean, they basically started with some great damage on the Chen, but they didn't kill him before the Stomp comes out. The Stomp caught Abaddon. Abaddon's forced to use bar time early just to remove the stun that landed on Skeeter here. Take a look at this, gets a couple slaps in. The Stomp is amazing, catches the back line while the Roar comes out. He has to pop ulti just to remove this, but then the Winter's Curse buys time for the Elder Titan. And Skeeter, I think, making the crucial mistake here. He slapped the Elder Titan 2 or 3 times, realized, oh shit, he's got 30 armor. I can't do any damage. And because of that mistake, Chen dies a little bit slower. Maybe he could have killed Skywrath Mage instead, for example. Oh, I didn't realize he killed PL. That was huge.
Yeah, those axes coming in clutch. And then 9 here and Dominant. Look, he even goes and he uses his Glimmer Cape. He's trying so hard. He wants this kill. And it's already, you know, the shots are sent out, but they do end up holding each other to the death.
All right, well, not as bad for 9. He's on the board, 2, 5, and 2. They're still up 8K, but the fact that he cleaned up the PL is massive. Gives them multiple solutions against PL this game. They've got the axes, they've got Anchor Smash to lower damage, and they have Stens cleave damage.
Well, the other problem is, though, they've already used all their ultimates. They're on cooldown over here on the side of Tundra, and BRAME, they're ready to fight yet again. Look at them just running. A little bit of a dive here on the tower. Wish throwing out those axes is able to keep a decent amount of distance, but they do manage to find Spartan again. He's just a little bit too far forward here, so despite the hand of God, he is going to fall. And now Skeeter has used that BKB. He's hoping perhaps they can get something else, and they've got their eyes on Wish. This is not looking very good for him right now. They don't really have the best save, so the Aegis is going to get burned. And see Focus still standing on the high ground. They're going to be able to support him should they try to go up here. They're flying everywhere. It's just all over the map.
Which ones are which? Get some cosmetics for these, please.
Ooh, they're building them up. Skylark very forward here, looking for a couple of punches. Over to Skeeter. Oh, but it's a good Witcher's Curse. It buys them just a little bit more time. And again, these axes are just flying left and right. They want to catch anything. The Ravage comes out. Bata goes down. Snake King turning his attention now over to Dominant, but over on the backline, Snake King. He will go down. 9 also to fall. These axes just flying, plus all of the magic spells coming out from Skywrath, as they'll eventually win this fight inside of BRAME.
And that all came down to Aegis, really.
Look at those axes.
Tundra going. I mean, the axe damage wasn't like that. It was so weird. Both tiers basically are equally as strong in axe damage, but both teams have to play around it. It's so bizarre to watch. But they had to wait for the perfect Ravage, but unfortunately there's no BKB left. At that point, Sven's ulti was probably gone or low, so it was hard for them to fully commit to that. They got the wish kill initially, but he had Aegis, so they didn't get an easy follow-up there to guarantee the team fight. I mean, I guess Blade Mail doesn't really work against Beastmaster that well, because he's still wrecking you guys anyways, but BKB, I guess, because he can't act as well through Magic Community, but it's
I mean, they
hard
had
to
the
force fights.
BKB. They had it on Skeeter, but it ran out of duration. Especially on the second life. Like, this Beastmaster's just so tanky. He's difficult to kill. He's difficult to pin down.
They can deal with him for sure. He's bought a lot of items that make his axes better. He doesn't have much defensively. Like when he got Gush, that was significant. It's -6 armor while Sven is hitting. That's a lot of damage, but they're not quite to a position just yet where they feel comfortable to take long fights. They basically have to ignore Elder Titan in these engagements. They have to play around and kill the supports, and they have to not get person. It's a dangerous dance and very, very difficult to do.
It's definitely a dance is a good way to put it, especially watching those axes flying around and everyone circling each other. But they are considering the fact that, you know, hey, I've got all of these, you know, items that are going to make my axes better, but I need a defensive. So you can see the BKB is getting queued up for the side here of Wish, and then BKB I think also was getting queued up for the Rubik as well. Again, we just see axes flying left and right, Focus running over, starts whacking away over here at this tower. And the rest of BRAME, they're ready to fight. Load of work completed on Skylark too.
Okay.
It's a lot of saves.
He's got to worry about getting. He can reflect Winter's Curse now. He's been getting cursed a lot because it's going to delay some time. I think it's maybe a bit of a trap. Normally, you want to Winter's Curse the guy that's BKB'd because it burns his stun at this timer while he takes damage. But the downside is that like he can go BKB very often with Astral Spirit, so it doesn't quite work as well. But you know, you said the crucial time you can be very good at.
I feel like there's Lotus Orb is one of those things that it's almost always very, very good to pick up at a game too. Like it's usually not something where you're like, oh man, I should have, you know, gone for this instead.
Unless you forget to use it, as many of us do. But yeah, very good item for sure. Removing debuffs, you could remove things like but it's certainly the main goal is about Winter's Curse.
Well, they pinned them pretty far into this base. You can see that they are trying to do a little bit of damage here in this top lane. They've got the Tide Hunter set up, he's really the only person that can kind of survive an initial jump, but they are knocking out the door. They're not even knocking, they're battering ram the door with the Spirit Lance Shard now. Ooh. So ambitious here coming out from the side of Tundra. Again, the Tide Hunter in the rear now. Put out a decent chunk of damage, force them back. Yeah, it is. Fata is, they go, they use the whip. Come on, Fata, quick, get back in the base. You can't be out here anymore, it's not safe.
Yeah, they got a little spotted there. I saw them coming in. They weren't even smoking out. They're kind of in a little bit of a desperation mode here. They know that they're getting behind and they can't really map control, so they need to take a fight. So they got to run out together, basically.
It's a 15K net worth lead here for at 27 minutes.
It's they've got to get a big Ravage fight in. But we haven't really seen that last Ravage was excellent, but it wasn't fortunately at the right time. But yeah, dude.
The way they split though, Fata's smoke popping here. Looks like they're gonna try to be a bit annoying, but something feels off.
Lose their ward.
They're still trying to zip around here. They can see, are they paying attention? Did they notice it? Skeeter, okay, no, immediately disjoint here coming out from Phantom Lances. They'll go right back around again, and they'll just charge away over Skeeter. The Ravage comes out, the Ravage is coming out to 33, but he's not gonna be able to do anything because Skeeter is already dead. As Skylark just chasing down 9 over onto the back lines here, and these poor supports, oh my goodness, 33 manages to make it out. 9 does go down to Skylark as he just chases after him and punches him in the face.
Oh, so hard for Tundra, but they feel like they have to force these awkward engagements, and I think they made mostly good choices. The stun throw, the PO, you basically have to in that circumstance. As soon as he dodges it, and he swarms you, he defuses you, and that's the end of it. They roll too much damage. It just feels over now. The Ravage guy just
Yeah, I mean, it was good positioning from 33 in the sense that he hit a lot of people, but like, oh man, they just absolutely obliterate Snake King, who's already died back. Bottom running back into base. 33 trying to get in there. They try to force staff him in, but look at this focus. He's doing his best Ana impersonation. The GG has already been called, but he's just slicing through everyone here in this fountain. they're looking good.
They've got to be pumped right now. This is a huge match to win against Tundra, Division 1 team. I think what we've really learned the last couple days is that these Div 2 teams in Europe have really performed pretty darn decently, much better than we expected going into this tournament. So props to them for taking this win.
Yeah, I mean, they're hungry. Yeah, you can see that, you know, the experience of like playing together for quite a while. You know, keep in mind Tundra does have Snaking, who's just joined the squad. But at the same time, like, I feel like this patch really is lending itself to these teams that love to fight early, love to skirmish. And that's something that, you know, the boys on BRAME have been very well known for, especially last season.
Well, hey, they're doing interesting stuff. They're jumping into the patch with a new fresh set of eyes. I feel like some of the other teams are maybe playing conservative, like they're the old meta from last season, but there are a decent amount of hero changes, and you know, abusing Elder Titan wins you a series.